Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard video, this time running it back within one of my OG brews. To say OG, I mean this is from like a few weeks ago, so really not that long ago, but one of my OGs. This is, of course, Earth King, Mightform, Mighty Wagon, I don't know what you want to call it. I like calling it Green-White Heirloom. Um, I think that's just the cleanest way to describe it. We're reliant on Heirloom for card advantage. We're reliant on the Heirloom for trample for our wagons and for our big Mightform Harmonizer turns. We're pretty much built around the Heirloom and doing the big Mightform Harmonizer combo. Now, if you're not familiar with this, Mightform Harmonizer, a card from Edge of Eternities, it says, whenever a land you control enters, double the power of target creature you control until end of turn. 4 mana, 4/4, warp for 3. Basically, you play this into Fabled Passage, or toward the end of the game, any land drop really will do to produce like a lethal attacker or several lethal attackers if you have the Earth King out. The Earth King, a card from Avatar. When he enters, he's a 4 mana 2/2, but when he enters, he makes a 4/4 bear, Bosco. Not legendary, unfortunately. And whenever one or more creatures you control with power 4 or greater attacks, search your library for up to that many basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So it's very easy to imagine a scenario where even if you have 2 4/4 swinging and a Mightform Harmonizer on the field, that very immediately becomes like a lethal threat, especially if you have trample to back it up. Compared to the last time, what changed? We are down on Insidious Fungus and instead up on Edge Rover. Edge Rover a bit more aggressively statted, better on defense as well, blocks Gran, blocks Quantum Riddlers if need be. Just having access to like a reach blocker in this deck I think is sometimes important to grab off of Brightglass Gearhulk. Also ensures that like if we're on a 2-land start, if it dies, we at least get to get up to our 3rd land, which usually helps us play our Lumbering World Wagons or our Earthbender Ascension. I like it. Giving them a lander is not usually that big of a deal. Couple Hydras, 4 Elves, just one Sandman, aka the Scouring Storm Soul this time. 1 Paw Patch Recruit. Not seeing so much Dimir lately. It's popping up every now and then. And then 1 main deck Soul Guide Lantern this time, just to combat all of the Is It Lessons decks running around. That's pretty much it. Couple Seam Rips for removal, 1 Sheltered by Ghost. I feel like it can win games out of nowhere sometimes, so I kind of like it there, but can get a little clunky if you draw too many and you don't really have the board for it. Not much to say about the land base. Classically, the Selesnya colors have terrible mana right now. Thankfully, Lorwyn is on the horizon, and we'll get our precious Temple Gardens. But for now, we'll suffice with 4 Hushwood Verge, a couple Lush Portico, a couple Restless Prairies, 1 Valgaboth Slayer to find off the Brightglass Gearhulks, 4 Fabled Passages, of course, and 1 Cavern of Souls. If you just name Cavern of Souls on Construct 99% of the time, this does not inhibit your colors at all, and can come in handy in the right matchups just to be able to guarantee tap out for your Brightglass Gearhulks, really. A lot of basics. We're searching up a lot of basics. We need a lot of basics in the deck. I feel like this is close to the right amount. It's like just on the edge of being too much, but I like where it's at. You maybe even could go more. I'm not really sure, but 10 feels good. I've very rarely run into the scenario where I'm out of basics and I needed them, but often I run into the scenario where I only have like 1 or 2 left in my deck by the end of the game. So 10 has felt like the lower limit at the very least. As for the sideboard, we're on an Authority of the Console split up package for the big go wide decks. 3 Get Lost just when we need instant speed removal, High Noons, extra Seam Rip, Soul Guide Lanterns. A quick aside about Basilisk Collar and Lava Spur Boots. I think these cards can be important. Basilisk Collar has been seeming less important lately with the amount of there's just not as much like mono red aggro on the ladder right now, but I actually really enjoy Basilisk Collar in other creature matchups as well, not just against red aggro decks. Just the fact that you can like guaranteed swing through your swing through a big Ouroborroid board with a Death Touch Trampler and get your lethal through that way, or use it for lifelink, of course, as well. But also just giving Death Touch to your dorks in those matchups can be pretty important. And Lava Spur Boots is very good against control decks. Just being able to guarantee that we swing in before they wipe our board, etc., etc. So let's jump into some ranked matches. Trying to climb in Mythic today. The last video did not go well at all, so we have to recoup some rank here. That was, of course, the mono blue bloodbending deck. That card is fickle. It's interesting, but it either wins you the game on the spot, but 99% of the time it kind of does nothing, especially in the standard format, I think. And it's really, really hard to cast with the Waterbend. Even if you build around it, it's really hard to cast with the Waterbend before you die, basically. It's possible to get a big enough board to do it, but you'd probably just die in the process. Kind of a slow hand, but I like that it has sufficient lands, it has the wagon, it has a Mightform Harmonizer now. Could use a source of trample. We'll go ahead and bin the Earth King. We're pretty up on 4 drops as it is. Looks like a bit of a mono white build. Love to see it. Ooh, this seems like a pretty solid start for them. Them clearing out my graveyard is not particularly important. But their veteran survivors should be able to get online here pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and actually play a Goldvein Hydra on 1. We can trade profitably with a veteran survivor, generate a treasure, and then maybe set up for a big combo turn. Lumen class frigate. This card's pretty good. It'll be pretty good against us. When Dimir was in the meta, it felt awful to tap out on turn 2 for this card, but with more like burn removal being prominent, Iroh's demonstration, etc., etc., I can see Lumen class frigate being a bigger player. I'm just going to go ahead and block right now. Give myself the option of casting this Gear Hulk. Yuichi. Playing against Yuichi today. On the ladder. Veteran survivor triggers. Oh, okay. For some reason in my head, I assumed this just happened after 3 turns, but they're probably not going to be able to exile enough stuff from my graveyard quickly enough for this to be particularly large. I'm going to go with a wagon because I could maybe cheek in a sneaky kill next turn, and then I'll play Llanowar Elves as well. But if they like full send, tap out, attack me, then I just have lethal with the wagon. I'm gonna doubt that they're going to do that. It seems kind of unlikely, but who knows? Maybe they just fully invest into this frigate and don't even think about, or maybe they're just not familiar with this combo. I would be surprised if that was the case by now. I would think it's pretty well known. The vigilance here complicates things a little bit. I don't think there's any reason to give up the elf quite yet. I'm hoping they just feel like they can... Okay. Oh, well, there's a herd heirloom. Herd heirloom is good. It's not going to be enough. It's good that it, like, lets us get through with trample at the very least. How do we survive this turn? We can play a Gear Hulk, Seam Rip the Warden, Seam Rip the Voice of Victory, or maybe we Seam Rip the Lumen class frigate, and then they left something on top. Maybe it's just like a land for the Abandoned Air Temple. So assuming we do that, we have a Gear Hulk to block. They can swing in for... Assuming we hit the frigate and the Warden, they can swing in for this board basically. +4. And we'll take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. It's iffy. It's better than... Better than a kick in the head, I suppose. Oh, I can't. Okay. Well, this is where the reach from Edge Rover is going to come in a little handy, I think. So we'll seam rip the frigate. I suppose we hope they don't draw a land here. And we can play an Edge Rover to block the Warden of Inner Sky. Pass it to them. We drew the trample, which is really nice, but the wagon wouldn't be big enough to get through with lethal. Now they're going to do the same count and come to the conclusion that they have lethal here. Or not. Okay. Huge boon for us. So showing off the power of the Edge Rover here a little bit, I think. Being able to kill it off gives us an extra land drop. So if we draw an untapped source, this should be lethal on the crackback. We can go 3 for the warp, 2 for the herd heirloom, and then another 2 to crack the lander if we draw an untapped source. Earth King. Earth King doesn't do it. So we delay again with another Bright Glass Gear Hulk. We can eat their Warden. Eat their Voice of Victory, maybe? Suppose we don't have double white once again. So we'll do the same thing. I think we eat the Voice of Victory and play another... Edge Rover. Kind of sweet, actually. I'm going to eat the Voice because it's going to get pretty big here soon. Don't tap like that. And now we're pretty close to assembling. Oh, I was supposed to eat the Voice of Victory. Yeah, well. Oops. Might be okay still. I just misclicked or had a brain fart. Still at 10 life. I have really good blockers here. I don't think they can assemble a lethal. And then we're pretty likely to crack back for lethal next turn. Lightstall Inquisitor. Doesn't hurt us too much here. I don't think we need the Earth King. Although... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I suppose either way... No, we don't really need the Earth King right now. Just need an untapped land. Oh, I miscounted anyway. No, I didn't. We're good. Untapped land should do it for us. It might even just do it for us now, actually. Or sorry, we might just have lethal now anyway, because we can crack a lander and swing with the World Wagon. We don't even need to really give anything trample. We can just soup up the Gear Hulk. We'll have 2 land drops naturally that way. So maybe if they swing here, they just decide to fully, like, tap out, basically. Yeah, that might be good for us, actually. Still, I would like a land drop. Okay. So now we warp the Harmonizer. This is just the cleanest lethal, I think. We crew up the wagon. Double. Play a herd heirloom. Give the wagon trample. Doesn't really matter, like, the sequence in which I do all of these things. They don't have any cards in hand, so I'm just kind of going through the motions here. Okay. And they're donezo. staved off their aggro pretty nicely. I kind of feel like they made a couple mistakes there as far as when to attack and what to attack with. I think they blatantly just missed a lethal, to be honest with you. Not complaining too much here, but it does kind of feel like a stolen victory. I think Basilisk Collar should shine pretty nicely here. Not sure that we really need too much instant speed removal. Just stick with the board wipes. We can... Edge Rover played really nicely there. Take out a Paw Patch Recruit. Take out the Soul Guide Lantern. Probably cut a Herd Heirloom. Probably don't need 4 wagons here. Maybe cut an Earthbender Ascension. Cut the Scouring Storm Soul. I like the Edge Rovers in this matchup. They block really nicely. Maybe go down a Hydra. Kind of an awkward draw early, especially in multiples. This is pretty good. We have the Authority of the Console split up. Missing a white source, but we can lead on the Edge Rover here. Herd Heirloom, pretty nice. One other pro that Edge Rover has over, say, like Paw Patch Recruit is that you can tap out for a Herd Heirloom turn 2 and then cast this without feeling like you're missing out on extra value. I don't know. I mean, at base, I think Edge Rover cast for 1 is better than Paw Patch cast for 1 usually. You know what I mean? We gotta open up our mana here. I guess I start swinging. Getting them to 16 can be kind of relevant. Because we have a lot of 4 power creatures, and then 2 doubles is 16 damage, so... Not the worst idea there. They might fully load up this frigate, and if I draw an untapped white source, I'm kind of like big time in the money. Not an untapped white source. Let's go ahead and get the Authority on the field here, I think. We're not that in that good of a position, I think, if we... Maybe we actually just hold up blocks. Yeah, I think I like that. We'll hold up blocks, we'll crack the lander, grab our white source, and then maybe we can just catch them with a split up. Like, if they fully tap out here and have garbage in their hand, they're pretty toast. They're tapping. They've decided to scry. Continuing to tap. Go ahead and block your Voice of Victory. Get our map cracked. Lander cracked, rather. They're all kind of the same, huh? Crack our lander. Very good, very flexible. Try to split up you? Sorry, mono white friend. Yeah, I think at this point your odds of winning are pretty slim. We're pretty set up here. Play an Authority next turn. We can play like... Oh, there's an Elspeth. Not bad. I'm not sure that it'll be enough. Maple, what's your deal? I think we want to save a land drop here. We'll play the Earth King. Play the Authority and just pass. Not much of a reason to hold up, run out this land unless we wanted to play the Herd Heirloom as well. But guaranteeing that we have an extra land drop for this attack. One other cool trick you can do, by the way, is like play the Mightform Harmonizer, use the land to buff the Earth King into a 4/4, and then swing with the Earth King and the bear. And that that'll give you an extra trigger from the Earth King. All right, chat, do we go for it? I mean, this isn't live, so there is no chat, but do we go for it? Answer on your phones now. One card in hand. Yeah, you just go for it, right? I guess we can't kill them. So maybe we just tap out for Harmonizer, straight up cast it, and then take out their Elspeth. We don't have to show them that we have the fetch here. Kill them next turn. I guess we probably could have played a second Herd Heirloom before all of that. Not the end of the world. Now there's not a whole lot they can do against this board unless they draw another Elspeth and kill the Mightform Harmonizer. That'd be okay. Choose my creatures. Interesting. Okay. That's interesting. Wipe my board here. Still feeling kind of okay, to be honest. Have an Earth King. We don't have a whole lot going on. Restless Prairie is really not a bad draw here. Might as well just play out our hand for the most part. Kind of surprised they're not thinking about firing up this frigate all the way. Oh, Suki's cool. I like this card. I like this card quite a bit. She's very impressive with Voice of Victory. Curve Voice of Victory into this, and then attack for 7 on turn 3, and also get a token. Pretty sweet. Just passes. Well, I'm gonna fire up the Restless Prairie and swing with the bear and the Restless Prairie to guarantee that I can draw here off of my Herd Heirlooms. Grab a Plains. No need to give up the Earth King here. If they want to double block the bear, they're kind of losing a lot. They'll get a couple draws, assuming they don't have anything. Thank you, bear. You've done me a great service. New Earth King just dropped. Play a land drop. Pass it to ya. Would love a Mightform Harmonizer. Even like right now, a Mightform Harmonizer is probably just lethal. Do we swing in? I suppose we swing in. See what they do here. Just drop a new Earth King. Okay. Ooh, what you got? Maple, why are you? My dog's whining. Do they have a split up? New Suki. Oh, cool. Well, they're kind of opening themselves up for my Bosco to get in by doing this. They might regret that. Seam Rip. Interesting. I guess we just split up this board first and then swing in with everything. There's an Aven Interrupter. Not a huge deal here. We have Seam Rip for... I guess maybe we just swing with the bear this turn. So if we swing with everything, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not quite lethal. There are like scenarios where we do die to this backswing here, so gonna play it safe, go for card advantage, make sure we can cast anything that we draw here. Probably just Seam Rip the LCF. There's Mightform Harmonizer. There's a Gear Hulk. So we can cast a Gear Hulk, eat the Lumen class frigate, and play a Edge Rover. Do I need another Seam Rip? I guess it's probably just better to get a Gold Vein Hydra in this position. We have so much mana. Seam Rip the frigate, and they scoop. Fair enough. Just kind of bigger than what you're doing. Sorry, my friend. Gomen nasai. Omae wa mou shinderu. Moving on to match number 2. Good, clean fun. Good, clean fun. Big fan of this deck. It's I think it's really good to have access to, in what is mostly a very fair kind of creaturey mid-range list, to have access to just like, hey, just kill you. Also, you know, we have. It's not incredibly fast. Is it weird to keep this? I kind of think most people would not keep this, but I'm gonna keep it on the merit of. First off, we like having lands. Second off, Earthbender Ascension is also good with extra lands. It's a gamble. It could turn out to be a really bad decision. Land, fair enough. A little weak sauce. But this deck is like, it's not the fastest gotcha, but it has a gotcha, you know, where we just tap out and kill you. Like right now is the perfect example. If I draw Mightform Harmonizer, they just have to block the wagon or die. Like, they have to have a blocker here. So you just end up in these situations where you're getting free swings in. I guess in this scenario, it would be a trade. Go ahead, play our Earthbender Ascension. On the Lush Portico. An interesting angle, too, that I saw in a previous game, we can hit our Valgavoth Lair if we want hexproof on our Earthbent lands. Probably not relevant against mono-green landfall, but interesting nonetheless. Go ahead and play the Fabled Passage. We might want the option to crack it. Typically, I think it's best to choose like a Surveil land, though, because they'll re-enter and trigger. Esper Origins, interesting. You don't see that too often in landfall lists. I wonder if they're also on, they must be on Ice-Still Explorer. Good to know. More of a mid-rangey style. Respect. Just gonna take this hit. Scouring Stormsoul is a good draw. So we're getting into territory here where we can... Guess we fetch, where we can... A, fortunately, we get to crew our wagon, and B, the Lush Portico is also almost large enough to crew the wagon. Once we get these Earthbender Ascension triggers going. It's probably better to swing in with the Stormsoul here. Sorry, swing in with the wagon after crewing it with the Lush Portico, because the Scouring Stormsoul is going to be quite a large blocker. We're running out of basics in our deck. Only one left here. Gonna make the Stormsoul as big as possible here, I think. Maybe that's wrong. I'm not sure. It's just possible that they threaten us with a pretty large attack coming up here soon. Earthbender Ascension has been good, at least as a one of. I'm not sure if 2 might be too many, but it is quite nice when you draw it. They decide to go in on Innkeeper's Talent, doubling counters. I don't think there's a 1-mana green spell that gives trample. So this is unlikely to matter too much. I do have to block, I think. Nope, no attacks. Interesting. Cavern Souls. Okay. Brew up the... We'll play a land. Give Storm Soul trample and 2 extra power. Brew up the wagon. The 9/4 swing. Not gonna be enough. Swing for 9. Find the last land. I could maybe make them block the Scouring Storm Soul. Can I make the Scouring Storm Soul big enough that they have to block it? Land 10, 11. Land 12, 13. No. Okay, well, I guess in that case I just pass. Leave it like this. And then if they attack, we now have enough mana to activate the Storm Soul on there. A little awkward. Any number of draws there. Any number of like relevant draws would have just been lethal. Mightform Harmonizer, I think the Earth King would have probably wouldn't have been lethal actually with how few basics we have left in our deck. The Bright Glass could have grabbed a Seam Rip. Gonna do a little fight here. Let's go ahead and crew up the World Wagon just in case. Not really a fight, I suppose. Now we get to bring back the Storm Soul. Also an extra landfall trigger. Badgermole Cub. Yeah. They don't know that we only have 1 land left in our deck. Pretty much tapping out here. It's probably better to give up the wagon than the Lush Portico. Although a Surveil is pretty good. Like if we bring back Storm Soul here, block, get the Surveil, and then worst comes to worst, we just keep blocking this with the Scouring Storm Soul. I think that's okay. Don't really have to bring this back now. I guess we go ahead and block. We could like surveil a man land in the graveyard here, which would be a reason to hold on to the Storm Soul. Oh, there's a Mightform Harmonizer. Hey, that's pretty good. Bring back the Storm Soul. Doesn't really matter where this counter goes. We'll be able to swing with both of them. Cast a Mightform Harmonizer. There's really nothing that they could have here, I think. I suppose let's go ahead and put the first trigger on the stack in case they happen to have like a crazy niche instant speed interaction, like a fight, 2-mana fight or something. I'm just assuming they have a Snakeskin Veil. Pretty sure we still have a basic left in the deck, right? Let me just confirm that we have it. We do have it. Okay. Good to know. Don't need it quite yet. Okay. Alright, kind of a weird game one. They looked a lot slower than we did. Or at least, you know, not having access to trample on their bristly bill really hurt them. Bring in the seam rips. Let's bring in a soul guide lantern. We already have one in the main here. Probably just want instant speed interaction, although, yeah, I think a split up or two is also pretty good. Yeah, something like that. Probably don't need the fungus. Probably don't need the paw patch. Probably go down one edge rover. Sheltered by ghosts can be okay. Not bad. If they're on Archdruid's Charm, it's a little worse. Go down a Herd Heirloom. Probably go down a Wagon. Probably go down a Hydra in this matchup. Hydra won't often necessarily be bigger than what they're doing, but it's nice to have access to the haste. It's close. I like the double get lost, I suppose. I'm going to keep this. That's not a bad draw. Let's see if we can get an untapped land here. Yep, we'll take it. Get lost. Or sorry, Badgermole Cub. A little problematic. I guess we just go ahead and get lost the cub now. They're going to enjoy the maps, but I think better to keep them off of the extra mana if their main game plan involves Icetail Explorer here. We could really use one more untapped source to really pop off. Ooh, drawing some lands. Alright, well, we'll play the Herd Heirloom. Play a Fabled Passage. Pass it to you. You could maybe make an argument for holding the Fabled Passage, but I think it's probably just better to play it safe and crack it so that we can use it next turn. They have a lot of mana. 6 to be exact. Archdruid's Charm, searching for a land. Or a creature. Bossing Say. Fine. Not doing a whole lot with their turn here. Probably just going to go Bright Glass Gear Hulk and get another land. We could also think about maybe just playing a Mightform Harmonizer. And seeing if that's enough to kill them. Double Mightform Harmonizer. Okay, now I think it's Seam Rip on the... We'll go... Make sure you tap your Herd Heirloom. Play the Gear Hulk. Find a Seam Rip. Even if they have Snakeskin Veil, that's fine. Opens up our Get Lost for later. Grab a land drop while we're at it. Defend the Rider. Okay. 1 for 1. No problem. Probably not a particularly critical turn. They're looking quite slow still. I'm not that impressed here. Level up the Innkeeper's Talent. Another land drop. Pretty nice. Very close to a lethal. I think we just play a Storm Soul. Maybe swing in with the Gear Hulk. Play the Valgavoth Lair, hold up, get lost, I suppose. Yeah, we really don't even have to swing with the Gear Hulk. Tap out. Like that. Make sure we use the Herd Heirloom there so we can hold up, get lost. And then Yeah, pretty clean lethal next turn, I would think, with double Mightform Harmonizer here. Bristly Bill has entered the fray with land drops. I'm going to have to go ahead and kill this Bill here because it's threatening. Yeah, he can't like do this maybe like he thinks. If it gains a counter here, the ward from Innkeeper's Talent won't. You can't like add ward the same way that you can add hexproof to counter a spell. If that's what they're thinking of here, but probably just utilizing the Bill while they have it. No trample on the cub. I guess we don't necessarily have lethal, but unless they completely swing out, I think they'd be pretty silly to swing with the cub here. Alright, well, you're dead. Block with the Gear Hulk. Double buff the Storm Soul. Come on, act like you've been here before. You saw my Harmonizers last game. You're doing landfall stuff. Surely you know what this card does. One more match in the books. Climbing the ranks, 2-0. The journey continues. A clean win. 1398. Let's see, 3 more matches. Kind of an interesting variety of decks that we've played against so far. Not stuff you see too often right now. People trying new things to combat our otter overlords, I suppose. What do you think? Storm Chaser's Talent plus Boomerang Basics too strong for Standard? I don't know. Pretty good. It's one of the best openers, and I think maybe the best argument you can make for its ban is like, if we were to bring up bans, I suppose. I'll keep this. Pretty solid. I like the Cavern of Souls. Is that no other color combination has such an efficient opener than just playing mono. Any blue deck that has those 2 1-drops in it, you know? It's like, yes, green gets Llanowar Elves, I suppose. But as far as like very efficient 1-mana effects go, Llanowar Elves is fragile, and it does have pretty good payoff, but at the same time, like, the payoff from Otter Boomerang Basics is quite high and is very hard to interact with meaningfully. I don't know. Looks like we are against the Ouroboros list. Swinging in with a 2/2 Druneth, Reviver of the Hive. I think I prefer getting Bright Glass online here. We can grab a Seam Rip and yeah, maybe just 2 Seam Rips. Hit the Talent, hit Druneth, hit whatever we want, really. Extra Druneth. Okay. Llanowar Elves. A very wide board. We can swing in with the Gear Hulk after playing an Earth King. Open up our mana. There's a Harmonizer. That's really, really huge for us. So we'll go ahead. We'll name... I suppose we just name Construct again. Doesn't super matter here. Go ahead and tap the Elf. Play the Earth King here. Swing in with the Gear Hulk. Open up our mana for the next turn. Pretty unlikely that they can present a lethal board. Seam Rip the Innkeeper's Talent. Keep them off of a big Ouroboros situation. And then next turn, we're looking pretty good. Like, this Ouroboros is big, but not enough right yet. So we can warp. I think this is how I'd like to do it. Warp the Harmonizer. I'm not doing the math. I'm just gonna assume this is lethal, like how all good players play. Because once we get into the territory of incredibly large numbers, it really seems to just work out. So we'll go ahead, buff the Earth King here. Swing with 3-4 power creatures, grab 3 land drops, and then make our Bright Glass Gear Hulk a 32 power first strike trampler. Plus they have to block some amount of this. They also decide they are okay with not doing the math and will accept defeat. Okay. Split ups. Get lost. Seam rip. Authority of the consoles. Basilisk Collar can be good. Basilisk Collar can be good. Take out the Graveyard Hate. We'll cut the No. I think I'm good on the Sheltered by Ghost here. Go down the Insidious Fungus. Seam Rip answers the talent well enough. Go down Paw Patch. Although they may have Blood Pit's Drowner in their sideboard. Paw Patch could be good there. Go down one Herd Heirloom. Go down a Wagon. Just trim some of the bigger stuff here. I don't think this is a Goldvein Hydra matchup, really. I also think Scouring Storm Soul is fine. It's fine. Maybe we just go down one authority. We don't need it. It's nice that it sets up our split ups, but I'd rather actually maybe not draw 2 of them. Go down an Edge Rover. Earthbender Ascension a little slow. Maybe just cut a land on the draw. That seems fine. But they are on blue. They probably don't have counter magic per se. Cut the Caverner Souls. More likely than not, they'll bring in like Tishana's Tidebinder. I'm gonna keep this. It's just fine. Just fine and dandy. Seam Rip. I guess I'd rather Seam Rip a... I'd rather Seam Rip a Badgermole Cub. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Paw Patch Recruit. So now if we Seam Rip the elves, then our split up starts looking pretty good probably next turn. It's hard to imagine a scenario where they're like, they don't have Ouroboros in hand and then we're pretty toast. That way, if we like slow them down enough here and then split up, maybe we're in a better position. Delays the Ouroboros 1 turn, maybe. I guess we just pass. I'm not really sure. Bring on the Boyd. Gene. Hello, Gene. Hello, my friend. Holding up 2 mana. Could be Flood Pit's Drowner mana. I'm just gonna go for the split up. I doubt it's Spell Pierce, but it could be. Repulsive Mutation. Yes, of course. I always forget that they're playing this card. Always forget. Every time. I need to like see it during the match to to remember. Sabsunen Luxa Embodied. What does this card even do? Well, Mightform Harmonizer. We have a fetch. Unfortunately, we have to use it here. So it's probably best that we play Bright Glass Gear Hulk. Let us grab another land. Maybe we draw another Fabled Passage. Basilisk Collar not looking good. I'll point that out. It's just kind of sitting there. It's a card I've been specking on removing from my sideboard for a while. It could be time. It could be time. Let's go ahead and grab an Edge Rover. Could be time to get rid of the collar here. So this can attack when it has an odd number of counters. Sorry, even number of counters. Okay, I see. The talent will boost it. Beastbinder. Well, they're not swinging for lethal. And if I draw a fetch, I'm pretty close to swinging for lethal, though not quite. Okay. No blocks. There's a fetch. Not bad. I can fetch. Swing with a 16 power life-linking Gear Hulk. Put myself at 22. Probably die to Ouroboros on the crackback if they have it. Alternatively, I could Innkeeper's Talent, or I could Seam Rip the Innkeeper's Talent. Seam Rip the Innkeeper's Talent. I think I have to go for the big lifelink play. Unfortunately, it's not very good, but I think I do have to do it. The problem with this is they get to lock down my Gear Hulk with the Beastbinder next turn. They're blocking with a lot for some reason. Can they just bounce this? They playing around me like... That's kind of weird. I don't think they needed to block with all that. Unless they just have lethal. That may have been a mistake. Because now this Death Touch Trampler is going to be really, really tough for them to deal with if they don't have any interaction. They just like blocked with their interaction right there. I can just replay the Harmonizer, play a land, swing. There's Unable to Scream, but I can Seam Rip that. They were thinking about leveling that up, perhaps. So we go for the Seam Rip first, I suppose. Kinda seems like maybe they don't have anything. Play the Harmonizer. Maybe tapped wrong here. Maybe would have preferred to play an untapped land, but I'm just going to assume they don't have anything, and they just die to this attack. That was weird, right? We'll take what we can get. I guess Death Touch Trample is not an interaction that comes up too much in today's standard, but I guess I really don't know what they were expecting with that block. I was tapped out. It's not like I could miraculously find another land. Kind of a weird win, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Couple weird wins today. I think, like I said, I think our mono white opponent earlier from match 1 missed lethal, and now this blue green opponent just missed a weird made like a really weird blocking error. I think because if they had attacked with the Azure Beastbinder next turn, my Gear Hulk would no longer have any abilities, I think, due to layers. And layer slash timestamps. I'm not too familiar necessarily with the nomenclature of that scenario, but gonna lead on the. Suppose it's better to lead on the elf here. Because if I draw another one, no, I'm gonna lead on tapped lands. I think this curves out a little more safely. I think I'm gonna go Herd Heirloom. I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go Herd Heirloom Elf. Now if they don't kill this, we get to play Earth King. Okay. And now if we draw an untapped land, we get to play Earth King. And present a pretty good attack next turn. They're at 18. If they shock themselves again, they're at a pretty critical 16. Let's go ahead and make sure we tap the Herd Heirloom with the Edge Rover. We can leave up mana to pay for the lander after we block here. Edge Rover looking kind of good, especially with the Herd Heirloom situation here. I kind of feel like if their hand is like, let's interact with what I'm doing, at least as far as my initial dorks go, then I'm going to have a pretty easy time winning this match. Mono red generally, I mean, they're not mono red, they're on red white, but these little aggro decks generally kind of struggle through Bright Glass Gear Hulk, I think, with our ability to just find 2 seam rips and stabilize. Sheltered by Ghosts. Fine. It's the Herd Heirloom. Fine. Maybe this is Boros Mice, is what you could call it. Go ahead and make sure we grab a white source here. Storm Soul. I like the Gear Hulk. Keep hitting our land drops. And let's just grab 2 seam rips. I think that's almost always correct, actually. Just grab 2 seam rips. Usually they see that and they're like, oh, well. They're like, oh, shucks. Rats. Usually they're like, yeah. Okay, well. This is also fine. Like, they're not putting a fast enough clock on us, and seam rip also just hits the Shelter by Ghost. Which means we can get a Gear Hulk back. I'm not gonna bother like playing into the ward here. Make sure we hit the right one. Get a Gear Hulk, grab a bunch of garbage. A land and an Edge Rover. I like that. We'll set up for a pretty easy lethal attack here. Next turn. Not a whole lot they can do here. Unless they surprise me and kill me out of nowhere. Imagine. Not a whole lot they can do. Razorkin Needlehead. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Player Harmonizer. Yeah, we can just play it. I guess they're not really technically in lethal range quite yet, but I guess they are if we seam rip here. If they have a way to pump and they can block the Hired Claw, like a little annoying. But if I seam rip here, take off the lifelink from any possible buff, and then ensure that they pretty much can't block the Storm Soul, and even if they do, we can now trample for 1,000,000 damage. Trample on the Gear Hulk. I guess their only out really is to double block the Gear Hulk, is what they probably should have just done. They would have gone to 1, but even then, they're not winning from that position. Now our Basilisk Collar will surely shine. This is your last chance, Basilisk Collar. If you don't look good this game, you'll never look good. Yeah, I think there was like a time when I was playing Gear Hulk before Edge of Eternities, and we didn't have Seam Rip. And then, like, Basilisk Collar was pretty good because it was a good way to stabilize against the red decks. But now that you have Seam Rip in your Gear Hulk decks, it's just like, against these aggro decks, I'm not sure why you would grab anything else. So maybe this is just, it's time to go. We have the new technology. Bring in some split ups, I suppose. Pretty good against the Sheltered by Ghosts. Fungus can go, Paw Patch can go. Graveyard Hate can go. Cut a Herd Heirloom. I think Earthbender Ascension's a little slow. Cut a Wagon. Cut a Hydra. Right, like this. Maybe High Noon's okay, but they don't seem like the more combo-oriented version. More of just like a classic aggro list. Not really using any pump spells. More burn and Sheltered by Ghosts, etc. We're 3-0, by the way. 3 match wins. A couple maybe mistakes from our opponents that led to a couple stolen victories, perhaps. I'm not too sure. The green-white mana getting us here. We'll go ahead and mulligan again. Down to 5. I had to open my mouth. I think we just play it like this. Hope that we just get to cast a Gear Hulk, basically. Earth King. Okay. Player Elves. If I 5-0, if I get 5 match wins here, I will take this into a league. An MTGO league for the first time. I've been laying down those stakes for a few videos now. And I think the couple times I've done it, I guess we just play the Fabled Passage here. The couple times I've done it, it's led to a 4-1 result, and I really kind of would like to flex in a MTGO queue. It's been a long time since I've done it. I hear the competition there's a little stiffer, but I feel like this could be a fun deck to try it out with. By the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in a previous video or not, but around Torpor Orb, that's pretty good against us. We'll go with the Gear Hulk first. Maybe we can just draw a Seam Rip Natty, and then I'd much rather my Gear Hulk be shut down by the Torpor Orb than the Earth King, I think. Legend of Roku. Not bad. This Earth King is going to be a bit of a problem. I'm sorry, this Sheltered by Ghosts is going to be a bit of a problem for them. Go ahead and just hit the Torpor Orb here, I think. Maybe you could argue that hitting the Ember Challenger is better. Emberheart Challenger, because they could play like a Sheltered by Ghosts of their own here. Kind of reset the state of things, but I'm just going to play the higher upside. They're seeing a lot of cards. Not sure that it's going to quite be enough. Lightning Helix, my face. Oh, so anyway. Briefly, shortly after I published my Earth King, some good blockers here. Published my first green-white heirloom video with the Earth King, etc., etc. Someone with a very similar list had a 5-0 result in an MTGO league, and it seemed eerily similar. Like, I can't help but feel they watched one of my videos and took it into a league, and I felt very flattered by that. There were just some little small things, like that made it really seem like it was my list, like one Cavern of Souls in the main, one Cavern of Souls in the side, stuff like that. That's not something that you see particularly often. So if you are out there and you're the guy that got that 5-0 and you're watching this, hey, thanks. That made me feel good. Appreciate you doing that. It kind of inspired me actually to keep going when I saw that happen, and made me feel like, I don't know, like a little validated, I suppose. That I'm I don't know. Not that, it's a 5-0 in an MTGO league. Like it's not like winning worlds with the deck, right? But still, just that someone thought it was worthy of playing in that, like a paid event. Anywho's, getting absolutely ranched by this Torpor Orb. I think we pack it in, probably. Oh, I can't cast this. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, let's cast some garbage. Maybe we draw a Mightform Harmonizer and do some crazy stuff that I'm not fully sure sure is possible. But who knows? Seam Rip, Resolve a Gear Hulk. I don't know. I don't know. What's up with the Torpor Orbs, by the way? Like, who is this even for? Not that good against the Orborite lists, is it? I guess it's okay. You can really hamper them if you get it down turn 2 and you're on the play. You're making a dragon. No blocks. Taking damage. My turn. Cast a Gear Hulk, but it doesn't do anything. I guess it blocks for a turn if they don't have anything else. They're pretty likely to have something, but if they have all lands in their hand, I suppose I can imagine a scenario where we untap and kill them if we draw a Mightform Harmonizer. Pretty likely that we're just dead here, though. 8 million mana. Making dragons. This card's sweet. Okay. Well, here's the admission that they don't have anything. Genuinely, we could just kill them off of a Bright Glass Gear Hulk. Sorry, Mightform Harmonizer here, I think. In tandem with the Earth King and the fetch we have here. Kind of crazy. They could just go land and kill me. Pretty funny. No, too little too late for that, my friend. Too little too late for that, my friend. On to game 3. Torpor Orb. Well, let's bring in the fungus, I suppose. Go down another Hydra. They're on a pretty cool list. I like the Legend of Roku's. They do look pretty powerful. Very reminiscent of the Showdown at the Scalds, or Showdown of the Scalds at the Scalds. Not sure, but the fact that it's also a body, it's really hard to trade profitably with it, which is good for a 4-mana card, honestly. Go ahead and keep this. We can fetch on turn 1 and then play Herd Heirloom and Elf turn 2. Hopefully we draw another land is really probably our best draw here, but I'm feeling pretty good about this hand. I like that we have the Seam Rip for a Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb. And then if we draw an untapped white source, or any untapped land, I guess, we could also Seam Rip into our 4-drop. Land, land, land. Insidious Fungus. Oh. Okay, we'll play it what we have. Not gonna play around like Fire Magic for 3 mana. That doesn't seem too likely. We get to resolve a Gear Hulk here. Pretty huge. Just gonna jam. Go ahead and grab... I think we like Authority, and a backup Seam Rip seems pretty good. Probably just go into a bit of a grindy mode. Answer whatever they play and start drawing cards off of our Gear Hulk to try to hit our land drops. Sorry if I sounded like I had like peanut butter in my mouth for a second there. I don't know what that was about. Avatar's Wrath. Okay. They cast us against this last game. It looked pretty good. We get to still do stuff, fortunately. Go ahead and play an Authority of the Consuls. Play an Edge Rover. I like their list. They're more of like a mid-range Boros deck, which I find very, very appealing. One of my favorite cube archetypes, even though it's not that good in cube, but it's very fun. MTGO cube, big red-white is so fun. I don't know, you just like draft the shitty planeswalkers, and the Legend of Roku would make the cut in that deck for sure. Kills my Edge Rover. They're scared. They're frightened. Definitely gonna play a Bright Glass Gear Hulk here. I think I like another land in case we draw Mightform. Maybe another Authority of the Consuls could really hammer things home here, actually. Maybe we just go Basilisk and then another Authority of the Consuls. It's pretty annoying if we do that, I think. Like, yeah, they can remove my stuff, but will they ever really be able to get into a position where they burn me out, especially through the split up I have in my hand here and all of this removal? Makes their Boros Charms look pretty silly. Tracks their lander during their turn. Kind of weird. Plays a Needlehead. R.I.P. Screaming Nemesis. Boros Charm to the face. Tapped land. Draw a card. Tapped land. Maybe we just play the Fungus and blow up Legend of Roku here. Not really doing anything quite yet. It'll come in tapped so we can split up next turn. Maybe we just play the Earth King. Start hitting our land drops. A little vulnerable to another Avatar's thing. Avatar's Wrath. A little vulnerable to another Avatar's Wrath if they go like Avatar's Wrath, Torpor Orb, but then we have Seam Rip. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good. Interesting game. I like their deck a lot. I might have to mess around with Legend of Roku mid-range. I probably wouldn't be on Boros Charms personally. Ooh, okay, they get to reset their Legend of Roku. That's really sick. Yeah. They're grinding, but like I said, 2 Authority of the Consuls. Kind of makes their burn plan look a little silly. Draw. Go ahead and fetch here. And then we'll surveil. Don't really want the Fabled Passage, I suppose. Do I care about the Needlehead? Not really. I'm gonna hold on to the Seam Rips for when they matter, I think. I still have the split up to answer creatures. guess they could play like Oger Oxenil or whatever it's called. I don't. You know who I'm talking about. That guy's making this board look pretty good actually. They play it, I gain 2 life, and then they hit me, burn me if they have another source of burn. Things are looking pretty close. Maybe I should have killed the Needlehead thinking about that. 16 is like decently high, but maybe not quite enough. Chandra. Okay, well that's a way to get some damage in. Cool list, cool list. Burst Lightning for full to the face. Burn up Astronaut. In a little life. Probably just going to split up this board. Maybe I should have had the Hydras in my deck. I kind of misevaluated, I think, in the first couple games that they have access to these more grindy cards as well. Lumbering World Wagon ain't bad. I need to be able to survive through some oncoming attacks here. And the Oxenil guy, go ahead, destroy all tapped creatures. That's for sure happening. Let's go ahead. Maybe we just play Earth King into Gear Hulk. Don't think about it too much. And then we could seam rip the vehicle if we really wanted to, although... Yeah, I think maybe we seam rip the vehicle. Because they could, like... have another Avatar's Wrath, and then... hit me for 3 with the vehicle, and then... find some extra damage, maybe off of, like, the... 4-mana legend whose name I can't pronounce, plus some burn. I guess this authority triggering here is pretty good for us. Basilisk Collar. Now's your chance, buddy. Now's your time to shine, dude. Redrawing. It's time to part with Basilisk Collar. I've been gaslighting myself for too long. I just kind of feel bad if I let it go. You know what I mean? You ever have cards like that? Drawing a lot of burn. Kind of cool. Would absolutely love a Mightform Harmonizer off the top. Really put this thing away. Ultima. Basilisk Collar, no. Okay. Well, they have a lot of mana. They have 8 points of burn in hand. I think maybe I have to Sheltered by Ghost the Chandra here, just to guarantee that they're not able to sneak in a little extra damage. Ah! How do I get this off? Okay. And then if they have the legend guy, I think I'm nearly dead to that, but I don't think I'm dead to that. So let's play Edge Rover. Oh, I guess they could just shock my Edge Rover. That's kind of annoying. Make them do it, I think. That makes sense to me. Keeps them off of getting to burn my face. They let this happen. They probably should have killed my Edge Rover. Do I play a World Wagon or do I play creatures? I think I just play a World Wagon. Authority of the console is holding down the fort still, and then Lumbering World Wagon gives us access to a lethal Harmonizer draw. Pass it back. Kind of a weird game. Yeah, I think they probably should have killed the edge rover. Not sure why they didn't. They had their eyes on like a lethal turn, I suppose. Now they kill the edge rover. Yeah, I guess so. Wait and see if they draw Exanil, perhaps. Action-packed matches. Action-packed. Very ponderous. Very pensive. A lot of little details to consider. Small calculations to make on each side. Gain a couple life. Needlehead. Gain a couple life. They have to Lightning Helix me now, otherwise they lose the chance to. Car. Harmonizer off the top, one time. We can blow up their Roku. Alright, things are pretty much at parity right now. We have lethal top decks. They're kind of chilling. Swing in with the vehicle, go to 8. We can clean up their board pretty easily. GG's. That ought to do it. From downtown, Mightform Harmonizer. Do I have the basics left in my deck? I do. Yo, lander tokens from Edge Rover. Kind of looking sick. Kind of looking like a pretty good addition to the deck. How about that? Kind of guarantees that we get those extra drops when we need them. From the high ropes, Mightform Harmonizer. You know what that means. We're heading into match number 5, baby. Match number 5. This could be the one. Maybe I get my own little 5-0 in the MTGO league with this list. This is one of the few decks on this channel that I've had like I don't play real leagues, obviously. I'm on Arena. But I like to make little games out of it. I guess you're just supposed to go Elf. In case we draw another land, it's better to hold the Fabled Passage. I like to make little games out of it and kind of decide ahead of time if I'm going for the 5-match league, you know. And one of the few decks I have on my channel where I have the 5-0, quote unquote, or whatever, you know, doesn't matter, but once again, having some pretty good success with the deck, I suppose, is all I'm saying. My record on camera is undefeated, essentially, with this list, which I think is kind of cool. Okay, feeling pretty good about this Lush Portico here. We'll go ahead and bin the Valgavoth Lair. No longer in need of your services. Player Herd Heirloom here. Now we have the mana to Gear Hulk and cast a 1-drop. Another Candy Trail. What could our opponent be doing? Ooh. What could they possibly be doing? Go ahead and cast the Gear Hulk. I think... Is it crazy? I think I'm going to grab a Soul Guide Lantern now that I'm seeing this Risen Reef. I'm not really sure what the Candy Trails are about. Risen Reef, Candy Trail. Makes me... For some reason, it makes me think they're like a... an Ice Tail Explorer deck. I guess I grab Soul Guide Lantern and Hydra because I already have. I'm gonna sneak the Soul Guide Lantern in. Just seeing the color combination here. I'm really not sure. Just hedging my bets a little. And then the Hydra here is you know, obviously it's just a big boy. Tragic Trajectory. Hydra lets me swing in and draw a card off the Herd Heirloom. Make sure we tap intentionally. Pass it back to you. Still no idea what our opponent's doing. Fable Passage. Maybe my read was right. There's the Ice Till. Yeah, I guess I just keep him off of the access to the mana here. Access to the Fabled Passage. Sheltered by Ghosts. Huge. They could have Day of Black Sun now, making my Sheltered by Ghosts look a little bad. Maybe I'd rather just draw first. Gaining the extra life do me anything here? Like if I drew a Bright Glass, I'd rather just play that. I think I'm just going to swing first. Okay. I think I'm just going to Seam Rip the Candy Trail. If they didn't play a second land, go Edge Rover. Let's go Seam Rip on the Candy Trail. We'll wait on the Sheltered by Ghosts here. Because they might just be stuck on lands if they didn't play a second land after that Ice Till. Okay, well there's a Fabled Passage. Doing some self-milling. Doing some introspection. Ugin. I don't think I've ever seen an Ugin deck in Standard that I liked. It just seemed too inconsistent. And often Ugin wins the game, but he doesn't always just win the game, you know? Overlord of the Baelmerk. Glad we held on to the Sheltered by Ghosts for that guy. Gets their Ugin back. That's pretty cool. Singularity Rupture. Soul Guide Lantern me. Well, I don't care about that at all. Mightform Harmonizer looks like a good draw. Another Herd Heirloom's really not bad. Swinging in. Draw some cards here. Don't think they'll be able to get enough mana to cast Ugin and pay for the ward on the Hydra. Ooh. The fungus is interesting. I think we just tap out for the fungus and hold that up. Do some tricky stuff there. At the very least, we get to cycle it. More milling. There's an Esper Origins. A very tense final match. A worthy opponent. Swarly. Ugin, Eye of the Storm. You can hit my Sheltered by Ghosts, yes. But now I get to kill your Overlord of the Baelmerk with my fungus, which I honestly forgot about. But makes me look big-brained, doesn't it? kind of perfect. If I have a follow-up colorless spell here, I get to kill off my... Okay, no colorless spell. So we can seam rip the Esper Origins. We might have lethal here, actually. They have nothing else going on. Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna pass it back to me. Kill your overlord of the Baelmerk, and then your face. I'm looking at this Restless Prairie here. So we seam rip. At the very least, we might be able to kill Ugin, which is kind of big game. We could like send a bunch of guys at Ugin and swing at their face with the Hydra. They block Restless Prairie. Ugin goes to... If we swing everything at their face, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't think the Ugin matters, man. I'd rather just draw cards, right? I'm just going to swing everything at their face. I guess I don't have to swing with the elves. No, actually, I think they can't block the elves. I think they have to block one of my bigger guys. No, I lied. They could block the elves if they wanted to, I guess. They go to 1. Draw some cards. We have another Hydra in the deck. Could be important. The Earth King. Finally, some real action. Playing elves. Come on, Mightform Harmonizer. Where you at, buddy? Is 50% of this video just me like, well, guess we could draw a Mightform Harmonizer any moment now, and that'd be really good, right? I think it is. I think it is. Need to come up with a nickname for Mightform Harmonizer. A lot to say. It's a mouthful. What about Mighty Mo? Harmonizer? Mighty Mo? That rolls off the tongue pretty nicely. Where are you, Mo? MH? Don't love it. Million mana. Do they just have like a big a big Moreland from downtown? Singularity Rupture, making me mill. Make a lander token, make a million treasures. Do you have enough mana to also like exhaust River Churn Monument? Did they also make themselves mill? I don't think so. Probably could have found more Esper Origins. Shout out to Cave Dan. Well, a little awkward. Play our Earth King here. I'm going to play the Fabled Passage. It kind of lets us do some priority shenanigans. If we draw a Mightform Harmonizer. Not really a whole lot else to do here. No reason to swing. Another Singularity Rupture. Okay. I am getting Milt. Do I have any Hydras left? There's one. There's two. No hydras left. If they don't have instant speed interaction, a Mightform Harmonizer off the top, if I have any left in my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Interestingly enough, we haven't milled a Storm Soul. That would have been nice. AKA Sandman. Probably going to lose this game. Could just run them over games 2 and 3. Gotta hold out hope. Oh, shoot. I have an eye appointment here soon. Oh, no. Okay. Play fast. I'm just going to concede this one. I'm just going to concede. I got to leave in like 15 minutes, and this is going to be a grindy match, so. No, we don't really want Seam Rip. We just want good creatures. Paw Patch seems okay. Let's get our Graveyard Hate. Get Lost for Ugin. Shelter by Ghost seems bad. Herd Heirloom's fine. Wagon's pretty good. I think we leave in the Wagon. Leave in the Hydra. Go down in Earth King, maybe. Go down in Edge Rover. Right, like that. Let's have 2 non-games. Opponent mulls to 3 both games. Come on, give it to me. It's a pretty poor thing to wish upon your opponent. Very unsportsmanlike, but you can understand my position. My wife says I have bad eyes. She says I can't see anything. Tried to tell her it's just me, you know? She doesn't understand. Sometimes, you know, you just can't fix everything about your eyes. Sometimes you just gotta live with what you got. Fine. Go. We already have 2 planes. Oh, we're doing it. It's the golden curve. If they don't have instant speed interaction, then we're in the clear for a quick game 2. Oh yes, it's happening. The mighty wagon. Surely you can respect me, Swarly. Surely you understand. Play an elf. What could they even possibly have? Bitter Triumph, I suppose. Magic Church. The door's open. The door's wide open, baby. Thank you. Whee! Alright. That's exactly what we needed. Love to get me one of those every now and then. Quick game 2, no problem. Guess you better keep some instant speed interaction. Guess you better get some instant speed interaction in your deck. Go back up on the Edge Rovers, maybe. Down on Paw Patch. Alright, like that. Guess you better pack your deck with some instant speed interaction. Guess you better learn for game 3. Guess you better learn. We have a full 10 minutes or so should be just fine. What are we looking at? Game 3 to decide it all. It's okay. It's okay, right? I like the turn 1 edge rover. Probably don't need 2 herd heirlooms. Okay, that's a good draw. Hitcha. Play a herd heirloom. Fungus stops my wagon. If they blow up a herd heirloom, I'm pretty okay with that. But they'll probably just opt to hit an extra land drop here. Try to go for a fast insect. If they go Ice Till, Fabled Passage here, I could just be out of the game. Valgaboth's Lair. Just gonna swing on them. They could be playing the snake that counters creatures, but I think of all the creatures that they could counter, this is probably fine. I'm gonna hold on to the Cavern of Souls. What do they have here on 4? Seed Chip Impact. I like that card. Big fan of Seed Chip Impact. Seems fine. What do we want to draw here? Death Mark. Okay. Interesting. Bossing Say. Fire up the Restless Reef. Start self-milling. Oh, cool. Bossing Say the Restless Reef. Even better. Very consistent self-mill action here. Doesn't hit anything of value. No lands in the graveyard still. We'll go ahead. We'll hold up mana to... We also don't have lands in the graveyard, unfortunately. We'll hold up mana to... activate a lander token, I suppose. Maybe we're supposed to block this Restless Reef. I think that makes sense. Not drawing a whole lot of action here. Would love a Gear Hulk. Gear Hulk gets us a Hydra. More self-mill. There's a land. 2 Ice Tills in the graveyard. Kind of huge for us. Not quite what they want to be milling. Lander's kind of relevant for them. Another Bossing Say. Cool. I wonder if I should have some number of Bossing Say. It seems pretty decent. Seems pretty decent. Grab a planes here. Come on, Gear Hulk. Did I bring the boots in? I should have brought the boots in if I didn't. Alright, gang. Well, not a whole lot I can do with this, right? I guess I fire up the Restless Prairie. Did I miss my window? I didn't, right? No, okay. Guess I just swing for 3. Reef coming in. Finally mills and Esper Origins. Gets another land in the yard. Plays Esper Origins. Singularity Rupture on top. Thinking about turning their aggression toward me. would allow me to bring back my Storm Soul. They probably took out their Graveyard Hate, because I don't think they saw Storm Soul in any of our previous games. Earth King. Do I have to play the Earth King here to make them cast the Singularity Rupture to mill me to... I think I have to play the Earth King here. And I can't really do it in such a way where I can also hold up Storm Soul. I'm just going to go for it. I'm not even really convinced milling me is that good. They should probably just mill themselves still. Curious to know what they have in their hand. Could be like other board wipes, really. Makes their forest bigger. Nah, I ain't blocking. You got the wrong guy. No blockers here. Make you wipe the board. Tapping out for Esper Origins. Genuinely could just get them with a Mightform Harmonizer here off the top. Assuming they don't have any death marks left in their hand. Ice Explorer. Tapped land. Pass. I think this is it, right? No way, dude. Did a guy get any luckier? Could a guy get any luckier? I think I was maybe actually supposed to buff the Earth King there. My bad. Don't think it will matter, but I should have buffed the Earth King, and then I would have gotten 2 land drops. Learn from my mistakes here. But I don't think it matters. Trample the bear. Yada yada. I think that's twice this run where it's just like, yeah, top deck Mightform Harmonizer. I mean, that's what I'm playing for the whole game, really, right? Just to put myself in that position where it just kills them, but... yeah. Okay, good clean run. Well, I'll fulfill my promise on a future video. Take this into my first MTGO standard league ever, I think. I've done some modern. I've done some pioneer. Not sure that I've done any standard leagues. Exciting stuff. Keep an eye out for that. I'm not sure when I will do it, but I promise. And the next couple weeks, certainly. I got to get my rental program figured out. Actually, I think when I checked and saw the winning the deck list that did well, it was only 15 ticks or something like that. So I might just outright buy it and just have it for future videos. A lot of fun. Still powerful. I liked the addition of Edge Rover. I think you can agree that that looked pretty powerful, just having these loose lander tokens for our combo turns. Going down to 1 Insidious Fungus felt fine. 1 Paw Patch Recruit, I didn't feel like I was missing that too much. Main deck Soul God Lantern didn't come up. Didn't play against any Izzet. I think we just played mostly off meta matches except for the one Ouroboros list. Everything felt good. Everything felt good. Sideboard seemed okay. Basilisk Collar has got to go. I guess I'll say that much. But other than that, everything felt pretty good. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. It's been a lot of fun. Kind of feels like where I personally, I don't know, I'm hitting this a stride in a little bit. The fact that I'm coming back to a deck that I had previously worked on and I don't know, there's a little history to it now almost. Just rambling, but that's how it feels to me personally as someone that's been just uploading these videos every day and having to come up with new deck ideas. It feels good to revisit something I've worked on and make little changes. It was also one of my better performing videos, so I'm hoping that maybe if you liked that, you'll see this and enjoy more Mighty Wagon content. And yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Catching me back tomorrow for more daily standard content. See ya.